Now, yesterday, I don't know if y'all were like I follow crime, and I was watching this Laken Riley case. Because we've all been interested in that. We want her to have justice.
And it was on hyperspeed, the whole case.
It was. So she was murdered in February, and then this just flew through the courts. Yeah. The judge took it. He sentenced him. It took him 20 minutes to find him guilty on all counts in the brutal death of Laken Riley, and he never changed his facial expression. Right. Jose Ibarro, after all these years were piling up, he received 2 life sentences without the possibility of parole, plus 27 years. So right. He's never getting out of prison.
You know, and his defense, through pretty much everything out there, they said, you know, the evidence, including his thumbprint and his DNA under her fingernails, that was circumstantial, inconclusive. They said his brother, that man right there's brother, who shared an apartment with him, could have done it, said the brother is actually taller and more athletic, and Jose, the guy who was convicted yesterday, short and chubby, and she could outrun him. But the judge listened to all of it. It was a bench trial instead of a jury because they would not get a change of venue. They would not take it out of that region because they didn't want that to be the jury pool. But the judge himself listened to all of it and said, okay, this is slam dunk. This is an easy case. Guilty, 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 guilty.
Here's the governor of Georgia.
This one hits close to home for us. Marty and the girls and I live in Athens, Georgia. We know the judge. We know the deputy that was standing right there in the courtroom. We know the Phillips and Riley families. Our daughter's a senior at the University of Georgia. And, I mean, even when I was on campus, both Marty and I have been in the area where Laken lost her life. I can't tell you how many times. It is a bittersweet day. This is a tragic event, as you and your colleagues have been saying, never should have happened. But it did because of bad policies of this administration, which is quite honestly outrageous. But I am thankful that justice was swift here and the judge moved so quickly.
President Biden has not called. No one from the White House has weighed in that I know of, except that when they're forced to. And during the State of the Union, Marjorie Taylor Greene yelled out, what about...
Say her name.
What about Laken? And he mispronounced it. But President Biden easily could put... His office yesterday was saluting an abortion queen and gave her an award. They could have easily had another email out to say, we watched the dramatic incidents and the tragic death of Laken Riley. Our heart goes out to him. But they just don't seem interested.
You know, Ainsley, I'm shocked that, we just had an election where this is the #2 issue. And the country spoke up. You got over 60% of the country that is for mass deportations now. There's a clear view of where we stand as a country. We're unified on this issue pretty much. But all of these liberal mayors and governors have not changed their position at all. It's like, we don't care that the voters said this. We're going to double down.
Yeah, they showed yesterday in court the body cam footage of Laken's family on the side of the road finding out that she had died. And the mom is saying, is she alive? It's my daughter. Is she alive? And then you hear from Donald Trump, like you said. He's on Truth Social. He says, our hearts will always be with you. It is time to secure our border and remove these criminals and thugs from our country so nothing like this can happen again. And then the mayor of Denver, Mike Johnston, is saying, we're going to maintain our sanctuary city status, and we're not going to put up with mass deportations from Donald Trump in January. Illegals are allowed to stay here, and we will protect them.
Look at this clown. He says this. More than us having Denver Police Department stationed at the county line to keep them out, you would have 50,000 Denverites there. It's like the Tiananmen Square moment when the rose and the gun, right? You'd hate every one of those Highland moms who came out for the migrants, and you do not want to mess with them. Really? You really think a lot of those moms that saw the Laken Riley trial thought, I just hope my daughter stays in danger? And have you seen what this guy's allowed to happen to his sanctuary city per capita? The most overrun city with illegal immigrants in the country, and this guy's standing behind it. You talked to him.
Yeah, so, Steve, we talked to the mayor a few months ago. We had a great interview, and we were confused by this, and we actually reached out for him to come on the program again. Hopefully he'll come on tomorrow to explain, because he told us this before, but now it looks like he's changed his position. Watch.
At what point does your city reach its breaking point? Yeah, I think our city is very close to its breaking point now, and we've been talking to leaders in D.C. around the country about why we needed to take action here. I think we have successfully welcomed almost 40,000 migrants in the last year, and we know what it takes to do this successfully. We just need that help, and the things we need are, yes, we need federal dollars, but the most important thing is we need, work authorization for folks when they arrive, and we need those resources at the border so you can add more security at the border.
Really?
So he's
why
talking
the
about
change of heart?
resources.
Is it because he got backlash from interviewing
I
with
don't
you?
know.
How about because Trump's president?
Well, I mean, but what did he ask for right there? He said we need more stuff at the border, obviously, to process more people coming in. And he said that Denver needed more money to house more migrants. So, ultimately, to your larger point, Lawrence, talking about the election, elections have consequences.
Oh, yeah, they do.
And all across the country, and even people in big towns like this just said, what, we're sick of this crap. We got to fix it. And if you're not going to fix it, Mayor's fill in the blank, we're going to get somebody in there who will.
Yeah, I love this quote. I think we're going to continue to be a welcoming, open, big-hearted city that's going to stand by our values.
Yes.
No changes.
We won't
Just
change.
money.
We're not going to sell out our values, pledge to keep protecting illegals.
I hope he agrees to come on tomorrow because he's considered a star within the party. I just want to understand the evolution. I mean, if things couldn't get more worse when it comes to his city, so why now? Why the change right now when you have an administration that's come in that says they want to work with Democrats, they want to get this problem resolved? Right. Why is he now being so vocal like this?
At the top of that soundbite that just played with you and he in the chambers there in Denver, he said the city is close to the breaking point. I got news for him. It's broken.
Well, Donald Trump and Homan have said they're going to start with the illegal criminals.
Right.
They're for keeping the illegal criminals here in our country?
If we can't get the mayor, let's get Elway back. Elway lives in Denver. He'll tell us the reality of it. He's a business owner.
They haven't learned anything. I mean, Donald Trump swept this election. Because of this, it's common sense. Illegal criminals.
I guess they feel like Colorado.
Wait, are you suggesting that politicians have common sense? Because I can get the Fox News alert animation ready.
There are a few of them.
Yeah.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.